Hey everyone, Tactics here, and with Prepatch finally arriving this week for Dragonflight, and with it the massive talent revamp, I figured I would spend a little time just putting together a quick rundown of potential talent builds for each tank spec in both Mythic Plus and raids. I'm not going to do anything super in-depth. This is going to focus on being level 60, of course. In the pre-patch, you're going to be missing some talent points, but if you want more details on like the talent trees and individual changes to all of the tank specs themselves, I have a series going over the state of each tank spec on the Dragonflight beta, and I'll link that playlist down below. Again, much more in depth than this video. This is meant to just be like a quick kind of refresher for people maybe that haven't been 100% keeping up with all the changes on beta itself. So if you want those details, down in the description, check it out. Also, please do remember this is pre-patch, so none of this is really serious. None of this is 100% for sure guaranteed the best, strongest, whatever thing to do. There's lots of different things you can experiment with, and it's all new, so make sure you guys are having fun with it. Again, this is just kind of like a general guideline of what is looking at least decent right now, but play around with it, have fun, it is a game. Now, without further ado, let's start off here with Blood DK in front of us. Again, important to note that you are going to be missing out on 5 talent points here, all of which are going to be in the capstone level, of course. So let's quickly go down this tree here. Going to grab AMS, going to grab some Death Strike, cost reduction, healing increase, some free 20% stamina right there. I'm going to want to go down this way as well. You'll get your kick, and let's assume we're doing something Mythic Plus related here. So any of these 3 are viable, either an AoE stop, a 3-second reduction on your kick, as well as runic power when you kick, or auto attacks granting absorb damage dealt. Let's default and say, because of course Mythic Plus, that you're going to be getting this cone. So let's say that, and Icebound Fortitude, that unlocks the next row here. Moving down the row to get some extra crit chance, as well as make absorbs 15% more effective and give you some runic power on auto attacks. You have 9 more points to spend. We're going to start moving down the right side here. Get your Raised Dead, get your Cleaving Strikes on Death and Decay, give your Ghoul a chance to slow and put a DR on people, and give your Diseases a chance to make them take more damage. Again, 5 more points you still have to spend here, so let's get some 2% strength. Make Lichborn a defensive again. Let's get 5% haste in your Death and Decay. Still have 2 more points to spend here. You can get a boosted AMS if you want it. You can get your AoE slow here if you want it. You can also get Asphyxiate rather. Always say it's Strangulate. Your 5-second stun or AMZ. So any of those will work. Let's just pick 2. I'm going to say Asphyxiate. I'm going to say boosted AMS. And then you're moving down the tree here. And you really only have a few points here because, again, this says 11. This is assuming you're level 70. You actually only have 6 points left. So you kind of have to choose which capstone do you want out of Empower Rune Weapon and an A-Bomb Limb. There's still going to be some things where A-Bomb Limb is useful here. So I'm going to assume we're actually going to get A-Bomb Limb as our capstone. So 2 points in Wolves Necropolis, 2 points in Rune Mastery, 1 point in A-Bomb Limb. You have a singular point left. And so you can put it in Insidious Chill if you need this, but that's more of honestly a raid thing, and any DK can of course have this ability to keep it up on a boss. So I'm gonna actually say Death's Echo to enable you to have much higher uptime on your Death and Decay, as well as Death Grips and more Death Advance are always nice. So that's how many points you have on the pre-patch. Moving on to the actual spec-specific tree, rather, getting all the stuff at the top here: Hard Strike, Marrow End, Blood Boil, Vampiric Blood. Basically just buying your kit back at the top. I'm going to go with Ossuary over on that side, and getting improved Hard Strike there as well. Going down the middle for all the Dancing Rune Weapon stuff. No Infinite Dancing Rune Weapon. It is just a flat extension here. There it is. So playstyle difference there. We want that haste down here probably, so we're going to go Foul Bulwark, Bone Shield, Reinforced Bones. Still need to spend 6 points, so we're going to go down this side here. Going to go Death's Caress, Relish in Blood, Rapid Decomp, Coag to buy the pathing down this way. Still have a couple points, so we can go Voracious and we can go Hemostasis. And then you can also go down this way. So what do you want? Probably want Shattering Bone. Get Tombstone to enable it. Shattering Bone. And then you can get 5% more damage and healing in your Death and Decay. And probably just spend that last singular point you have left in Red Thirst to get some extra CDR. But again, play around with it. You can get Heartrend, you could get Ironheart. Probably not going to get Gorfine's Grasp, unfortunately, but not the end of the world because you have A-Bomb Slim and 2 scripts. So that's a little quick thing there. It's actually pretty generalist now I think about it. It works in both Raid and Mythic Plus. You may just like move this singular point around to like put it in permafrost instead of blinding sleet for Raid kind of deal. You probably like drop asphyxiate and get AMZ for Raid. So lots of different things. You can also get Death's Reach for Raid. But overall, pretty generalist options there for you. Will function in both Raid and Mythic Plus. All right, let's move on to Guardian Druids. Same idea, so let's look at it kind of first as a Mythic Plus thing. You're going to get that improved Bark in. 4 seconds on Bark is nice. Got to get Swipe, got to get Iron Fur, got to unlock your Kick, and then you kind of have a few extra points here. Let's move down this way because you're going to have to move this way eventually. Anyways, unlock the next row. Let's grab your Kick, grab some DR, grab your Soothe, grab your Roar. You got 7 points still to spend. Let's grab Boom Conform, grab your Range, grab 3 points in this for increased magic damage and healing, and then let's put a point over here in Verdant Heart for some extra healing received during Barkskin and Frenzied Regen. This unlocks your capstone row. Again, you only have 6 points here. 3-point node in Lycara's Teachings. You got Renewal, got Heart of the Wild. You now have a singular point to put somewhere. You could do it in Mobility here if you wanted. My guess is you probably wanted to put it in Typhoon for Mythic Plus stuff because Typhoon is really nice to have. You probably don't need the 1 minute Roar. Matted Fur is definitely overrated defensively for Guardian Druids. It's not the worst, but it's not great either. In a raid environment, though, you could probably drop Typhoon. You could put this in over, like, just say Tiger Dash. You could also probably drop your Kick, and you can move this somewhere down here, like in 1 minute Roar. Or Matted Fur if you don't really need anything else. So you have some options. It's just you don't really have as many points to play around with as you'd like, right? You'd love to have in-cap Roar, but it's kind of hard because you have to spend a bunch of extra points to get it. I mean, you could probably like drop Verdant Heart to grab it if you really want to, and you'd have to also drop Typhoon. So you have to give up quite a bit because you just don't have the capstone points. So keep that in mind. Moving down the actual Guardian specific tree, of course, all the stuff at the top here, you are going to have to grab just to enable pathing. So now you've got the next row open. So let's grab Flashing Claws here. We want to get this middle area. So let's grab Tooth and Claw, a Vulnerable Flesh that unlocks the middle, Fury of Nature. And you want to get your Moonfire points over on this side. So Scintillating Moonlight, Twin Moonfire, and Galactic Guardian. You now have a singular point to go with. Note you don't have Berserk yet, so we kind of have to get that. Then we go Circle of Life and Death, Ellune's Favored. You grab Incarn, you're now good to go. You have 2 points left, and my guess is what you would put here is probably Earth Warden and Unchecked Aggression. The note as to why you do this is 1, you don't want to CDR your Incarn away from Ravenous Frenzy, so you don't need to spend the point in these Incarn CDR down here. And 2, both Flashing Claws and Galactic Guardian will help stack up in Ravenous Frenzy as well, and I believe it also stacks with the UFR Legendary, so you get some pretty wild Ravenous Frenzy stacks, but that's kind of like the reasoning behind doing this kind of stuff. Do note that you end up losing your Frenzied Regen CDR, as well as the Iron Fur cost reduction inside Incarn, so you don't have that. Keep that in mind. But yeah, that's a good kind of generalist thing as well for Guardian Druids. You can, if you don't need Earth Warden in like a raid, for example, you can drop it and take Vicious Cycle for some extra Mangle and Maul damage. It's pretty nice. Otherwise, there's not really much you would change here. Then we've got Vengeance Demon Hunter. Again, let's go down Mythic Plus stuff. Mythic Plus stuff, so you want to get your Shattered Soul healing. You want to get your Fire healing. Let's go down, get your Charge of Infernal Strike, get your Imprison, get your Kick range, get your Purge. Still need 1 point. We need to access down here, so we need to take Mastery, increases move speed. Going down here, let's get Master of the Glaive and Chaos Nova. We're also going to grab all these points in the middle, so Meta CDR, Leech, Armor in Immo Aura, and Demonic. Still have 4 points you need to spend. Let's take some Magic DR, and let's take some health. Why not? You only have 6 points here, so it's really going to depend. Do you actually need Darkness? Usually in Mythic Plus, the answer is no, so you can skip that point. In raids, you probably want Darkness, but that's fight dependent. So let's go down this side here. You get your parry, get your sigil effectiveness increased by 2 seconds, as well as CDR on your sigils and faster activation. You can also get your sigils granting you a soul fragment and grab the hunt, and that's kind of what you're left with there for like Mythic Plus related stuff. And again, if you do need to grab Darkness, you can just, instead of grabbing this, go this way, just like that. This would be a 5-minute Darkness though. Keep that in mind. You would have to drop something else if you want to get to a 3-minute Darkness or a duration increase. Also, if you are looking at raids, you can move a lot of points out of the bottom of this tree, for example. So let's do a quick reset there on it. So you can go down this way, down to your healing again. You don't care about this purge. You don't care about the CC down this way. You do want your second charge of Infernal Strike. So you can grab now Vengeful Retreat, as well as 2 points in Fury and the move speed. Grab all this stuff in the middle here. Grab your magic damage taken. Grab your maximum health. And then you can grab something to increase your sigil effect, but note the downside that it's either always placed at your location or always placed at your target's location. So you can take that for extended sigil effects, but keep that downside in mind. And then you have one more point. You can go up here, get some extra fury per target hit. And then similarly, like I just said, you can grab darkness, you can grab hunt, you can grab all this stuff down here out of points at this point. Moving to the spec tree, Fell Dev, grabbing all this stuff at the top again, like pretty much every class. Grab stop here. Unfortunately, you do have to take Throw Glaive to unlock Fracture. We're going to assume we're in Mythic Plus, so you want that silence, and you can take the fall off damage there. Next up, we're going to go down with Spirit Bomb. I'm going to get Void Reaver for the Frailty DR. Some extra damage there. Grab all these points in the middle for increased Demon Spikes, Fallout, Fell Dev. And at this point, you have some options. If you just want to go straight Immo Aura stuff, you can increase its duration. And then you can have Souls giving you DR. You can also not take that stuff. Instead, you can go down here, get Immo Aura, gives you Fury, take some points in Fiery Brand, dealing extra fire damage, or making you deal extra fire damage rather, and that'll open up this Burning Alive later on for you to spread Fiery Brands. So it really just depends on what you want to do in the capstone level. Let's say for now we're doing this, and that opens up Focus Cleave, Vulnerability, Soul Crush, and then you can put this point in like Soul Carver, or you can put this last point in like Volatile Flame Blood. Or if you're doing the build that I just mentioned previously, what you can do is you can put the points here, and you can put a point in here for extra fire damage to trigger it, and then now you can take your spreading Fiery Brand as well as go down and get your Soul Crush as well for your Frailty debuff. So a couple options there. Again, this is pretty general. Also, again, if you're doing raids at the top of the tree, could change a little bit. Like you could put a point in Meteoric Strikes and change the silence to Roaring Fire, and then take this point on to Calcified Spikes, because this is generally less valuable in raid content. But again, relatively flexible. You're just missing some stuff at the bottom, of course, but that's just how Prepatch is going to work. Brewmaster Monks are up next, so let's go down their tree here. So first off is, again, Mythic Plus. Let's assume you do need to take Detox for any given reason. You're going to get some extra damage dealt. You're going to get some reduced damage taken. Also probably going to get Rising Sun Kick and Soothing Mist over here. That opens up the stuff down here to get some more Expel Harm, healing, and increasing healing taken. Just 1 point in that for now. Going down here, you need your kick, of course. You also really do want to unlock Fortifying Brew. Because we did take Detox, it would take 2 nodes here to unlock it via Paralysis. So let's just say you take Disable instead to unlock Fort Brew, and as well as the increased potency of Fort Brew and Expel Harm healing based on your missing HP. You also want to unlock the center here, so you're likely to take Transcendence because the Ring of Peace is really solid. You get both Diffuse and Dampen Harm. Still have 3 points to go though. Let's go along the left side here. Get some more healing taken, unlock Chi Wave, and another boost to Expel Harm's healing. Expel Harm is a lot of healing, by the way. And now you've unlocked the capstone row here. We want to get down to Resonant Fists 100% for sure. Fatal Touch is really the only way to access that we really want here, and it'll also let you access Bounce Back for your last individual point, as you'll see. So here, Resonant Fists, get some damage CD in White Tiger, and your last point can go into Bounce Back for a little bit of DR if you take a big hit. Again, pretty generalist here. If you don't need Detox, what can happen is you can give up these 2 and take the Paralysis boost instead and go down this way. If you're doing something like raids, as an example, you don't need a bunch of the utility here. Let's get our damage done. Let's get our Fort Brew again, healing, get Diffuse here, get some Rising Sun Kick damage, get your Dampen, and then you can grab your Celerity here, or Chi Torpedo if you want to, but note this will be a single charge of Chi Torpedo. So Celerity here will give you the second charge of roll and a 5-second CDR on it, versus up here, which is literally just an additional charge of roll or Chi Torpedo. Again, they're probably doing a similar thing down in the bottom just because you don't really have enough points, and you really need to access Resonant Fist for damage, and Bounce Back is like a nice single point again, so you're probably taking this even though you don't really want it. Resonant Fist, White Tiger, Bounce Back, and that's what you're calling it a day as. Looking at the Brewmaster tree, similar again, going down, buying a bunch of stuff here, hit Scheme, make your Blackout Kicks have Cake Smash do more damage. I'm going here and getting Rushing Jade Wind. Going down the left side here, Celestial Brew, definitely want that Breath of Fire, improve Celestial Brew, and Cake Smash here, resetting the cooldown of Breath of Fire. You're also going to get 2 charges of your Purifying Brew, as well as probably Bob and Weave. Also got Ox here, of course, Zen Med as a little defensive in some situations. You can also get Guy Plin's Imperial Brew, make Purifying Brew instantly heal you. And going down here and get Light Brewing, so it reduces the cooldown of your brews, or Purifying and Celestial Brew anyways, by 20%. Still have 2 points here, like going down this side over here. So in the plus scenario, of course, Shadow Boxing Treads, get 2 extra targets on your Blackout Kick, and then Face Palm, Tiger Palm has a chance to deal 200% damage and reduce the cooldown of brews by an additional second. Then you're down here in the Capstone area. You want to get Charred Passions for sure. Synergy here with Breath of Fire, and also going to have decent synergy with getting down to Stormstout's Last Keg. So you really want to do that next. You're going to go here, Elusive Footwork, Exploding Keg, Stormstout's Last Keg, and I think that's what you're probably going to be playing with in Prepatch. It is unfortunate you're going to be missing Bone Dust. You could give up the stuff in the middle here if you really want to. It would definitely probably hurt your Charred Passions uptime, but you could go Bone Dust and Weapons of Order, just play with both for a while. But you are going to have one or the other anyways from being in that Covenant, of course, so it's not the end of the world. I think this is probably pretty solid, and just play with whichever one you actually are spec'd as for that Covenant. From there, we go to Protection Paladin. Let's just go right through it again. Hammer of Wrath, of course. You are kind of forced in raids and Mythic Plus, no matter what, to get this Hammer of Justice CDR from Holy Power Spent. Fantastic in Mythic Plus. Not something you really want in raids, but it is kind of gating you. You got your Greater Judgment, that's what it's gating. Here, Mythic Plus, Blinding Light's definitely a play. Cleanse Toxins if you need it. Got to get your Divine Steed, of course. And then you have a few options here, right? You can get Freedom up at the top. You can move this Cleanse Toxins if you don't need your Dispel for said dungeon into a Cavalier. You can move Freedom if you don't need Freedom in said dungeon into Cavalier. So you have the options there. I'm just going to, for now, put it up in Freedom and Cleanse Toxins. That in mind. So you got 2 points in improved armor and critical strike. You can get Blessing of Sacrifice, including a 1-minute reduction on Blessing of Sacrifice if you need it. If you don't need that, you can take something else. Going to get Wings, of course. Going to get CDR on Divine Shield, Ardent Defender, and Lay on Hands. Going to get Bop. Going to get your Kick, of course. Going to get Blessed Hammer damage increased. Still have 2 points to spend here. Probably going to go into the Judgment of Light. And then we still don't have Cavalier yet. So you can, if you didn't need Freedom, for example, you'd have point in Cavalier instead. So we didn't need Freedom. Then you could also put this point in Incandescence for some extra Consecrate damage when you use Holy Power. Similarly, if you didn't need either Freedom or Cleanse Toxins for a dungeon, you get Extended Steed range. You can move this down. Also something you can probably see in raids, because again, you probably don't need either in a lot of raid fights. You might need Freedom in some. This gives you a bunch more mobility options. And then what you're likely going to do is probably just send all your points down the middle, is my guess here. Divine Purpose, some Mastery, some Haste, and you got a last point for Sanctified Wrath, and you're out of points. Obviously, when you have more points, you have the option to go down one of these sides here as well. But hey, you can try and go down one of these sides if you want during Prepatch, see how it goes. Obviously, there's Of Dusk and Dawn on this side, as well as the Paragon over on this side. Then we go Spec. Like a lot, you're going to go a bunch of the top things. So we're going to actually choose Blessed Hammer here. We're going to choose Redoubt here. Grand Crusader, Inspiring Vanguard, Holy Shield to block spells, Shining Light, Ardent Defender, of course. Mythic Plus, we want that Avenger Shield, giving you an Absorb. Moving down here as well, Avenging Wrath Might for that damage. Don't really need Sentinel for the most part. You can get some extra Consecrate damage and extension up here, as well as Avenger Shield giving you Parry. Parry's always nice. And then Consecration giving you extra damage and healing while you stand in it, something you're doing anyways. 2 charges of Judgment and Judgment CDR. You'll have 4 points to spend. We want that Guardian of Ancient Kings. You also probably want Avenger's Shield splash damage. You can kind of do what you want down here. Here's Holy Power being CDR for Ardent Defender and Divine Shield. Not a bad take. And then you have a few options to go here. If you're already playing Kyrian, you don't need to go down this Kyrian side of the tree. So it kind of opens you up to play something like Eye of Tyr, Bulwark, and you can play Avenger's Shield jumping to more, and then you can play either 2 points in the increased damage to primary target, or you can make it 2 points here in Holy Power spent, reducing the remaining CDR of your Avenging Wrath and the Guardian of Ancient Kings. Now you could also open you up to play Kyrian and something else. So you could like take this point out, go there. You'd probably have to take this point out here out of Bulwark and play Divine Resonance again. But then you could play like Venthyr Kyrian in keys. It'd be fun to play around with for sure. Definitely try that out. Tell me how it goes. And last but not least, we have the Warrior. So again, going through their tree here, want Rally in Raids or Mythic Plus, get some Leech, nice Leech. Auto attack speed, definitely need Thunderclap, definitely need to generate more rage, move speed, and some more potential rage increase, and you want Spell Reflect as well. Moving on the side here, let's go Crushing Force for some shield slam damage, extra armor. Let's go Thunderclap applies Rend. Let's go Double Charge. Let's go Seismic because again Mythic Plus, Stormbolt because again Mythic Plus, and Barbaric Training for the more AoE damage. You can also grab Sidearm here. Now you have 3 more points you need to spend, so you can do a few things. You can go Impending Victories for some on-demand self-healing, Heroic Leap for a little bit mobility. Then you could go Intimidating Shout for an AoE stop. You could go Honed Reflexes maybe for Pummel CDR and Shield Slam CDR. Let's do that. And then down here, you're probably going to want to go for the Avatar stuff because Unstoppable Force is pretty solid synergy. So let's go that, especially Mythic Plus. And you only have really 2 points left here. So what can you get? You can kind of put 2 points here in haste and attack speed on crits, but it's not the best. My guess is you probably go like 5% stamina and get Shockwave, which does deal okay damage. It deals most of its good damage because you grab Sonic Boom with it, but you don't have the points to buy Sonic Boom here. So I'm guessing you'll do something like this in Mythic Plus. In raids though, I can totally see you doing something more focused towards like Thunderous Roar, and you're still a point off of getting your bleed amp, which is a little unfortunate. You have to kind of give up too much, so maybe not. Maybe you do something more like this still in raids and just get the haste and the auto attack speed on crits. But yeah, you're just way too point strapped for Protection Warrior. Unfortunate, but hey, maybe try some avatarless builds and see what happens. Finishing off with their spec tree, let's go here again, filling out the top. As you do in a lot of places, best serve cold and brace for impact on your kind of choices here because you don't really need the rage gen. Let's go Rend to apply Rend on Thunderclap with Blood and Thunder. Let's get some extra rage from your Rend. Shield Wall, of course. Let's go AoE Taunt because it's gating you. Thunderlord, heavy repercussions to extend your Shield Slam and some extra damage on Revenge and Thunderclap here. Extended Shield Block, sorry, this is extending Shield. Shield Slam's extending your Shield Block. That's misspoke there. Anger Management for CDR. Can go down a little bit here as well. Let's just say Brutal Vitality. And let's say Tough as Nails for some extra damage. You have a single point here. You could put it in some more Shield Wall reduction and Shield Slam Rage. You could put it on Party Shield Wall. You could put it on Shield Slam, adding a DR and doing some extra damage. Let's just throw it in there for the moment. And then you move down, and again, point strapped because you have a ton of good points. You want to spend each and every one of them, and you are gated now at the top by a bunch of things. So what you could do is you could go 1-2 into block, and then you could go Booming Voice, Indomitable, and Violent Outburst, similar to the tier, of course, which is getting turned off, right? Tier is getting turned off in the pre-patch, and now you're out of points. You could also throw this stuff around into actual abilities and go like, hey, I want Focus Vigor, Shield Charge, want to make it kind of like a Reprisal legendary, and you have 2 points, and you could go here, Alacrity and Ravager if you wanted. But I think these points in the middle are pretty good as well. But again, play around with it, have fun with it. This is just a little blueprint, and especially to kind of like refamiliarize you, or just maybe this is your first time seeing these talents. So hopefully it helped you out with that. Again, have fun with it, play around, mess around. This is just a guideline for sure, and is by no means the 100% best thing to do all the time. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Doing Dragonflight content all the time. Again, those tank videos are out. I'll be doing dungeon guides and raid guides as well, skipping out for those. If you have any questions about anything, leave a comment or come stop by my Twitch channel at Tactics, where I stream all that stuff, very beta mythic plus, high mythic plus keys, mythic rating, all from a tank POV. Would love to have you guys come and hang out. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. Have fun in pre-patch, and I'll see you all in the next video.